Hello, this is Adore from Maven. In this video, we'll be looking at the purpose of the basic blocks and how to use them. In your Figma file, you'll notice that there is a section called Basic Building Blocks, and it contains 2 pages, which are the basic frame and the UI elements. The UI elements we'll cover in the next video. This video is focused on the basic frame. So you have 2 different basic frames. You have a canvas basic frame and you have a section basic frames. Now what you need to know is the difference between the 2. The first 2 blocks are canvas basic frames, and the last 2 are actually section basic frames. This is the desktop, and this is the desktop version, this is the mobile version. This is the desktop section version, and this is the mobile section version. The difference between the 2 is that a canvas basic frame consists of a header container and a main container. The main container houses your header block or section that you put in, and the main container houses all your sections that will be stacked on top of one another. And the mobile version is the same. Your desktop section of basic frame is actually what you're used to in Bricks. If you create a new section in Bricks, it automatically contains a container. So a desktop basic frame consists of a section and a container. The section is tagged with the desktop width variable, and the content is tagged with the container width variable. Just as in Bricks, your container also has a max width that's on it, right? So the same thing is here. And you have the freedom to tweak, to change, edit your content width. You can edit your section width, which is actually your device width, or you could say the resolution of the screen, right? And the mobile version is the same too. Also consists of a section and a container. Okay. Now that we know what the difference is, how would you go about using them? You basically just copy it, go to a new page, and you can basically just start adding your frames to it. Oh, I forgot one step. Once you paste it, don't forget to detach the instance, because if you don't, you cannot add any frames to it, you cannot tweak it, right? So now we can actually add a frame. You can duplicate the 2. You could actually set this to fill container, and let's change the direction, because auto layout works just like Flexbox, right? So now it's set to row, set it to column. So now both blocks are now, frames are stacked next to one another. They're in line now. And now you can start adding your content. Now we have a 2-column layout, right? Okay. Now that I've explained how you use this section to build your own design, we'll have a dedicated video where I actually build out a design. Let's move on. Oh, you can actually transition from desktop to mobile. Best thing to do is just to duplicate this. So I hold down Control Alt and just drag. On Mac you would have to also include Command. And then if you're on the layer section, it says change variable mode. We can set this to mobile, and then it automatically switches to mobile, as you can see. Yeah, so there you have it. So this is your mobile mode. Let's remove the 2 and let's go now to the canvas. I'll just copy the canvas and then paste it. So like I said before, we have a header and a main container. Let me detach this instance and let me add a header. So we go to our headers, just okay, this one, add it here. There's a header, and let's add a hero section. Let's add this one. Boom. A content section. Maybe I should add a content section and then a footer section, a feature section, sorry. So content. Let me just add a feature section. It's quite long. like this. Go back and let me finish up with a footer. Sorry, this is an F, and then something cool. Okay, just paste that in. Boom, now we have our full page. This is basically how you would use it. As you can see, the sections are stacked on top of one another, right? I'll make a separate video where we actually just build out the whole wireframe, and we also make a mobile version so that you also get used to that process. But as you can see, your canvas is automatically expanding as you add more sections to it. That was the whole idea when creating this basic frame. So you don't need to create a canvas like this from scratch. You can just do it this way. Furthermore, there's a reason why we separated the header container from the main container. Reason being is that you can set your header to sticky in Figma once you're using the prototype mode. So how do we go about doing that? First things first, make sure that your design is done, because you need to convert your basic frame from an auto layout. You need to remove the auto layout so it becomes a frame. Because if it's an auto layout, you cannot use the sticky functionality to not work. So let me just go back and show you real quick. I want the header container to be sticky. If I go to prototype, scroll with parents, you see fixes turned off. So what we want to do is set this to basic frame, and then just need to make sure that this is on top and set this to fixed. So now it's fixed, and as you notice, when you set this to fixed, it separates the fixed content from the scroll content. And you might be wondering, okay, so why is the header container not in the main container? If that was the case, you cannot use the fixed functionality, because one piece of content has to be fixed and the other has to be scrolled for this to work. So let's go to presentation mode, and you can see that work. So as I scroll down, we have our sticky header. This is also a nice presentation. If you're planning to use the sticky functionality, you can present this to your client in this manner. So let's go back, and if you want to make it a little bit more fancy, you could add it like a shadow. So go to effects and just say shadow, and if I go back, we can see the shadow, and it just elevates the header above the content, which just gives us a very nice effect. Okay, so now you know how to use the canvas basic frame and also the desktop section basic frame. And this too can also be converted to mobile, but like I said, there'll be a separate video where I go in depth into that, and we'll tackle all the stuff that comes with it. So I hope this video was clear. I hope that you now understand the purpose of the basic blocks and how to use them. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'll get right back to you, and I just wish you a very nice day. Bye bye.